It's the first run of the fall wheeling season, and it's a very early morning start. Unlike so many adventures as of late, I have some company this time around. My fellow Jeep cult member Danny Dubenstein and I are heading out to Brulé. A couple hours later, we linked up with an even larger group. I have gotten quite accustomed to soloing. As a filmmaker, I almost prefer it that way. I don't have to hold anyone up to get the shots I need. But as an adventurer, it's a lot more fun in a group.
It's a big freaking group.
Danny and I will be joining 14 others for this run. I haven't had the best experiences in groups of this size, but it's Brulé. How can this place ever not be fun?
I hate mud.
I did this same run last summer with Ray. The trenches were one of the coolest features I have ever wheeled through. The only disappointment was the smoky conditions caused by one of Alberta's most unprecedented forest fire seasons on record. Regardless, it was a great father-daughter adventure. I'm always looking forward to making another epic sequel, so here goes nothing. We will be taking a slightly different route down to the lake this year. A blanket of fresh snow would make this a soggy adventure, to say the least. Today, our fearless leader is Ryan, whom I have wheeled with before on the ill-fated Mackenzie River Trail run. His wheels have undergone a bit of a transformation of sorts. A low buck Rubicon Dana 44 swap wrapped with 37-inch tires.
I had to replace one rear axle before coming out because somebody nicked it with a grinder when they did the bearings last time. But hopefully we're going to find out.
No trusses?
No trusses yet. It's on my wish list.
Chromoly shafts?
That's also on the wish list. Had I known I'd be replacing one axle, I would have bought chromolys ahead of time, but it was replaced OEM because I was in a rush.
Nervous at all?
Never.
I'm a little nervous. I don't trust Dana 44s with big tires. So, we'll see.
To me, it's a simple trail, so this was good for the break and run.
Yeah.
Just in case I do break something, I can get towed out of here fairly easy. No matter what goes wrong here, you're still out before dark.
I'm not sure I can agree with how easy it would be to drag someone out of this area. Hopefully we don't have to find out. This is a pretty basic trail, so we should be good. Knock on wood. Fingers crossed.
It's just another nice Sunday drive in the woods. Hey, Ray?
Saturday. You can do it next time. I believe in you. I'll give you a gold star.
One of these times we'll sync up. It'll actually be a Sunday. And we'll actually be doing a Sunday drive through the woods.
This wasn't just any trail. This very spot used to be part of the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway. Construction of the railway was an ambitious and challenging task. It required the building of thousands of miles of track through difficult terrain. The final stretch of the railway was completed in 1914 and was used until the early 80s. Some remnants of the rail line still exist here today. This section of trail almost seemed more conducive to train traffic than off-road vehicles, but that would soon change.
This is gooey.
That's what she.
Ordinarily, this first challenge would be an easy one, but the fresh snow has made the trail muddy and quite slick. It's a diverse group, a Toyota, some Broncos, and of course, buttloads of Jeeps. I really haven't wheeled with too many of these folks, but Danny and I have trailed together. Our last trip out in a group of this size didn't end too well. It was a couple years back on a run to Ruby Falls. We failed to reach our goal that time. Hopefully, history does not repeat itself.
Last time it took me 4 attempts to get up, so give me a bit to see what happens this time.
The trail soon transformed from dirt and mud to sand. We had our first dune hill to climb. Everyone made it up with ease. Yeah, except for me.
And of course, I forgot to put it in 4-wheel drive. You almost made it.
The slope of the trail had pushed me towards the trees.
Tree.
Lockers wouldn't help, as I just couldn't get any momentum going at all.
Hey, I got myself in a bit of a pickle here, Danny. Can you back up and give me a quick tug? Yeah, I'll just turn around.
And of course, Ray just happened to get all this on film. After my rookie mistake was behind us, and the trail was cleared, the rest of the group made their way over this dune hill.
I think we're good.
We descended to the waterfront for the first time today.
engine, most of it's still there.
We would follow the waterline of Brulé Lake, which was at its winter levels, meaning there was a lot more shoreline to play on than during the summer months.
Everybody go back up into the trees or along the beach? Into the trees.
It was back into the trees for some more of the trenches that Brulé is known for. They were tight and quite a bit off camber.
I lost everyone behind me. James, you good?
It was here that Danny first regretted not disconnecting his front sway bar. Suspension flex definitely helps getting through this section of the trail. Before we could get back to the beach, we would have to make another steep descent through the tight forest. Most of the group had made it down easily enough, but there was trouble at the back of the pack.
Some guys are taller than others.
Right? Longer too.
We were starting to lose the light. Fast.
Danny and I have decided to take an alternate route down to the lake. We're just doing a day trip here. So for us, we just I gotta stop testing this PPF. For us, we're just gonna get down to the lake and kind of explore the lake a bit, and then head on out of here.
Given that I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, this section of trail always makes me feel like I'm piloting a nimble X-Wing fighter in a desperate search for that pesky exhaust port. And maybe a stray womp rat or two.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
Loosen up.
We're too close.
Kaboom.
The uniqueness of this feature makes this trail a memorable one. Danny and I were once again back at the beach.
a year maybe, usually around this time. It's too busy in the summer, I think. I'd definitely say make it part of your bucket list. It's a whole different landscape than what we're normally used to in Alberta. Some of it, well, can't really see it from here, but some nice sand dunes and desert type terrain.
His JK on 40s was of course doing well, but I noticed a lot of sand on his snorkel. In the deep trenches, his body had flopped over, and his snorkel began to identify itself as a shovel.
It was fun. It would have been funner if I would have disconnected my sway bar links.
With the large group still struggling to get everyone through the trees, the two of us explored the dunes before the area would be consumed by darkness. The Brulé Sand Dunes stretch across the horizon, their undulating peaks and valleys sculpted by the eternal hand of wind. A desolate yet breathtaking landscape. This is not a topography you would associate with the northern Rocky Mountains. The dunes are much more than a landscape. They are a testament to the power of nature, an eternal reminder of the Earth's capacity to transform, endure, and to reclaim. We continued to follow the dunes towards the boundary of Jasper National Park. We would run the dunes nearly to the point at which the land use zone ends and the national park begins.
Well, it seems the group has now made it down from the woods, so we're gonna just backtrack a ways and link back up with them and see how they're doing.
The group had finally made it to the beach and were participating in some shenanigans on the dunes. Once the group had their fill of the dunes and gave up trying to destroy this Ram pickup, we headed back the way that Danny and I came down to the lake.
What was your highlight?
The sand dunes. They were fun to go up and down. It's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, the dunes are pretty cool.
I'm following you, Ryan. Perfect. I can't see out of my mirror, so I'm hoping you guys are back there. Yeah, you're right following the beach, because I was going to go back to where you guys turned around and go up that other direction.
Yeah, that's if you follow the beach.
Cool. I haven't been that way, so let's check it out.
It was very slow going up the trenches. Not because they were difficult in any way, but because Danny was having some technical problems.
Wheel speed sensor has been intermittent, like it's been fine all week until like today, of course.
Isn't that always the way? The moment you need something to work, it doesn't.
Yeah.
The ABS on his right front tire was engaging. It was basically fighting him anytime there's a steep incline or excessive body roll, which is a frequent occurrence in these trenches.
Maybe that's the next thing to get.
Once we got back onto the wide and easy path, his ABS system started to behave, for the most part. We tried to disable the stability control, which it should have been in 4 low, but it didn't seem to have any effect. In hindsight, we would have been better off just pulling out the fuse. But for now, the system was enjoying this easier route.
And just as our adventure is winding down, it starts to snow.
Based on my map, we would be up for some more elevation gains and losses. What effect would this new snowfall have on the trail we were planning on using for our exit?
You'll probably have to go the long way around, but we'll come back around and get you.
So it sounds like we have another tree that might
Okay, just let me know where to stop.
impede some of our taller rigs. Looks like our adventure isn't quite over yet.
Is that going down into that, like, ravine creek thing? Yeah. Yeah, he might be close. I think he should fit. Of course, that tree came down a little bit more. That's what I was thinking. I mean, Rob fit. I think we're at the same height. Within a few inches of each other, that's for sure.
It's a fairly tight trail. It's not super difficult, but the conditions are making it harder than it really should be.
The potential of a low-hanging tree wasn't our only issue.
My fucking brakes are like burning up.
Yeah, that really sucks. The risk is you can glaze the rotors, and then a cheap sensor replacement turns into a major brake job.
Yeah.
We had caught up to the group. It was a bit of a blessing in disguise that they were struggling. Not with the low-hanging deadfall like we had all feared, but a very muddy and slippery hill. This gave Danny's brakes a much-needed, well, break.
Hey man, look on the bright side. Your brakes have time to cool down now.
One by one, we made it through this ditch, which would be our final obstacle on the night. With everyone through, it was time to close out our adventure.
there someone behind you? Let's just hold up here until they see us.
Yeah, we're good.
Typical, like everything's good until it isn't, right? The snow has made the trail really mucky, and some of the hills for people who don't have lockers,
Hey, Johan, do I still have 2 headlights?
it's just a little bit challenging for them.
Yes, you do.
But we're slowly making our way out,
4 now.
and maybe we'll get out tonight. I always wanted to do nighttime crawls, and this year I got to do 2 of them. This one and Top of the World.
Aside from Danny's brakes that seemed to get a bit better once we were on smoother and more level ground, we didn't end up having a lot of issues. And yet, we didn't make it out of the area until well after dark.
Considering we're leaving tonight, it would have been nicer to get out in the daylight still, but it is what it is. Nobody broke down and nobody got hurt, so it's really all that counts, I guess.
It was pretty fun though. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Sand dunes.
Yeah.
It's not very often you get to drive those in Alberta.
Not in Alberta.
No.
Brulé never ever disappoints, and this trip was no exception. The trenches and the dunes make this such a unique destination, one that really does need to be on your bucket lists. 2 more unpleasant tasks still remain. The drive home and the dreaded $65 car wash.